Hey everyone, in today's video we'll be working on CADing the Butterbot from the show Rick and Morty. This video is brought to you by AlphaGenesis6436 and this tutorial consists of 3 parts. Hope you enjoy! To begin, we'll start off by creating a new sketch on the front plane. We will use the 2-point rectangle tool and create a 50 by 50 millimeter square. If you can't find any of the tools mentioned in this video, you can use the search tool by pressing S on your keyboard. Now, we'll select our square and extrude it by 47 millimeters. If you can't find the extrude tool, the hotkey for this tool is E. Next up, we can offset our sketch by 2 millimeters. We will search for the offset tool and start a sketch by selecting the front face of our object. Then, we will select the perimeter of our square and type in 2 millimeters. Now, we can extrude the face of the cube along with the offset sketch we just created by 10 millimeters. Now that we have completed the main body for this part, we can start adding features. To start off, we can create a new sketch. Select the front face of our main body and use the line tool to create a reference line. Use your cursor to hover over the left side of the square until you see the midpoint symbol. Place the line on the midpoint of the left line and the midpoint of the right line. Use the circle tool to create a circle with a diameter of 32 millimeters anywhere on the reference line we just created. Then use the midpoint tool located on the top right of the screen and select the circle, then the line, so that the circle moves to the midpoint of the reference line. Another way to place the circle on the midpoint of the reference line is by moving your cursor along the reference line until the midpoint symbol appears. Now that we have our sketch, we can extrude this by 6 millimeters. Then we'll start another sketch on the cylindrical feature we just created. This time, we'll create 2 circles. One will have a diameter of 25 millimeters, and the other circle will have a diameter of 35 millimeters. We will select these sketches and extrude them by 5 millimeters. Moving on, now we can create another sketch on this cylinder, but this time, we will only have one circle with a diameter of 25 millimeters. We will use the extrude tool and cut 5 millimeters into the cylinder with a taper angle of -25. So I'll type -5 for the distance and -25 for the taper angle. We will then do the same on the face below, but instead we will cut 5 millimeters with a taper angle of -45. So I'll type in -5 for the distance and -45 for the taper angle. After that, we can start a sketch on the face in the middle of all of our features. We will use the circular tool to create a 5 millimeter circle. Then we will place a line directly across this circle so that we can revolve this sketch. For the revolve tool, we can select the top portion of our circle for the profile, and the line in the middle for our axis. Make sure the operation is set to join instead of cut. After we are done with this step, we can move on to designing the wires on our robot. To do this, we will select this face and create a sketch. I'll use the line tool to create a reference line. So I'll select the middle point here and the middle point on the other side. Now that we have our reference point, we can start placing our circle with the circle tool. Create 2 circles with a diameter of 7 millimeters anywhere along this line. We are now ready to use the sketch dimension tool to position the sketch accurately. We can start by dimensioning the circle to the right. Select the circle, then the edge of our model, which is directly to the left of our sketch, and left click on your mouse. If you did this correctly, you should see a value or number that you can change. Change the number to 23.3 and you'll notice that the position of the circle changed. We will do the same for the other circle, but this time we'll input 10.3 millimeters. Once you are done with this step, you can extrude these two circles by 5 millimeters with a taper angle of -10. For our next step, we'll create another sketch on the same face. We can use the line tool and place a line on the midpoint of the right edge of our object. This is a reference line and should extend 11 millimeters to the left. We will place a circle with a diameter of 6 millimeters on the end point of the line. Then we will extrude this sketch by 2 millimeters. We will start another sketch on this face. Create a 4.5 diameter circle on the center point and extrude the sketch by 3 millimeters. Using the fillet tool on the top left, we can select the edges of the cylinder and fillet it by 2.2 millimeters. Next up, we'll start sketching on this face of our object. We can place two circles with a diameter of 7 millimeters anywhere around this side of the face. We will use the sketch dimension tool to accurately change the placement of these circles, starting with the left circle. I'll select the circle, then the line on top, drag the mouse to the left, and change the value to 17 millimeters. Now we will do the same for the circle to the right. We will select the circle, then the line on top, drag the mouse to the left, and change the value to 17 millimeters. Use the dimension tool again and select the circle on the left, then the line on the left. Drag the mouse up and change the value to 8.5 millimeters. We will do the same for the circle on the right, but instead, we'll change the value to 21.5 millimeters. Now you can extrude these two circles by 3 millimeters. For our next step, we'll create a sketch on the left cylinder we just created. Add a circle with a diameter of 4 millimeters and select Finish Sketch. We will add a circle with a diameter of 4 millimeters on this face as well. When you are done with the sketch, select Finish Sketch. Now we can go on to the left side of our model and add a plane. Use the search tool and search for Offset Plane. Then select the face on the side of our object and offset the plane by -8.5 millimeters. Make sure the plane is intersecting the middle point of both cylindrical features that we created. Now create a sketch and select the offsetted plane. Search for the 3-point arc and select both of the cylindrical features' center point. You can drag your mouse upwards or downwards to manipulate the arc. Your workspace should look something similar to this. We are now ready to use the sweep tool. For this tool, you'll select a profile and path. Our profile will be the circle on top, and our path will be the arc. Once you're done selecting these, you should see a red path. Make sure you change the operation to join and press OK to finish this step. Lastly, for our final step, we'll create an offset plane on the left side of our model. Offset the plane by -15 millimeters. Then use the mirror tool, change the type to features, and select our arc. For the mirror plane, select the orange offset plane. Once you are done with this step, your model should look similar to this. And part 1 of this tutorial is finished. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you in our future tutorials. See you next time for part 2.